Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new to the channel, sorry. Probably the worst vid to pop in on is terrible games. But we're gonna make it fun. I always try to make this fun, keep it pretty relaxed on this channel, so I'm not gonna go lay into these games with like anger or aggression or anything like that. I mean, bad games are bad games, but sometimes there's some good qualities in them. Sometimes they can be fun, just depends what you can salvage from them. Try not to pick I know AVGN, a lot of those channels, a lot of these games have probably already been drug into the dirt enough. So, and it's hard when you're trying to do YouTube and specifically gaming, and there's like a billion gaming channels out there. So hopefully I picked like maybe one or two that you didn't know were terrible. But if not, no worries. And as always in the comments, let me know, man, like what's a terrible game for you, and tell me why too. Tell me why you thought it was pretty terrible. That's the best part. The channel, as you guys have always heard me say like a billion times, I love talking to everybody in the comments. It's really why I love doing this. But yeah, we're gonna dive into about 10 titles I picked. Like I said, I'm gonna try and make this fun, and as always, thank you for watching. All right, let's start this off with Katana. The N64 is a first-person shooter that came to us in 2000, published by Kemco. The story is, in feudal Japan, two rival clans, Ibihara and Mishima, are at war. Mishima goes to Swordmaster Usagi Miyamoto to craft a weapon to end the conflict, the Daikatana. However, Usagi realizes Mishima's dark desires and gives the Daikatana to Ibihara, and Shiro Ibihara throws a sword into a volcano at the end of the war. Oh, so that's easily explained. You'll traverse across 18 levels divided into 4 episodes, with a varying number of levels per episode. Each episode represents a different location and time period, to include Japan in 2455 AD, ancient Greece in 1200 BC, the Dark Ages in Norway in 560 AD, and near future San Francisco in 2030 AD. Why, that future is near. So why was this terrible? Well, besides being called one of the worst games of all time, it also suffered outdated graphics, poor gameplay, repetitive sound effects, and poor artificial intelligence. Not to mention, it barely sold over 40,000 copies, becoming one of the biggest major commercial failures in the video game industry. So, yikes. Yeah, I was playing through this one, and oh my god, the controls were horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. You can change the inversion for the up and down part, but it just doesn't feel natural at all. None of this feels natural. I basically just kept running to see how far I could get. I couldn't do anything as far as damaging anybody, like with the fist thing I had here. I don't know. And I couldn't get even past, there was like a doorway. I couldn't figure out how to get past it, so I pretty much just, that was all the footage I got. So, yeah. Yeah, I literally just kept getting shot at. I tried punching those cannons. Here's the door I couldn't get under. There was no way to crouch. I don't know. What a mess. Here's Rise of the Robots from a Super Nintendo. I picked this one. This is a 1994 fighting game from Acclaim. In the year 2043, human society is governed by robots. Electrocore, the world's largest mega corporation, manufactures these robots. It constructs a hive mind from trillions of nanobots to lead itself, which it calls a supervisor. However, a virus called Ego infects the supervisor, which breaks Electrocore's control over it, and it becomes self-aware. The supervisor quickly takes control of Electrocore and instigates a cybernetic rebellion. The only hope to defeat it is the ESO-35-2 cyborg, Pepsi Man, is what he looks like to me, who's immune to the Ego virus because it possesses a human brain. Okay, so why was this terrible? Well, while the graphics aren't too bad, the animation was choppy, fighting was simplistic, with each character having a small amount of moves, and dark and bland color scheme making this one unappealing game. Yeah, you can't even really, I could punch and kick. I could punch and kick, I could crouch and kick, I could jump over the robot's back, and then I could punch and kick. That's pretty much it. I actually had this on 3DO also at one point, Panasonic 3DO. And that is definitely a more polished and nicer version, but my god, these games, They're god awful. There's better fighters out there. This definitely wasn't one of them. All right, here is Batman Dark Tomorrow, a 2003 action-adventure game published by, Kemco. Remember those guys from the first clip? Ooh, yeesh. Twice in this vid. Initially announced in 2001 as a GameCube exclusive, Ra's al Ghul and his daughter Talia and their League of Assassins take control of a weaponized satellite that is targeting Gotham City. While trying to end a gang war between the ventriloquist, Black Mask, Batman discovers that Commissioner James Gordon has been kidnapped and is being held hostage at an overrun Arkham Asylum. Racing through Gotham City's sewer to enter the asylum undetected, Batman has to fight through several foes, including Victor Zsasz, the Ratcatcher, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, and Killer Croc, before finally encountering the Joker, who is the mastermind, of course, behind Gordon's kidnapping. Who didn't see that one coming? So why is this terrible? Poor control scheme, repetitive missions, and a frustrating camera. It's also been described as incomprehensible and littered with bugs. Yeah, there's no real direction in this game. You really have no idea where you're going. The map obviously is pointing to some things, but the camera, as you try to turn and face that direction, it's god awful. There was a point where I was trying to jump across a building. Took me an hour and a half just to get footage for this episode, so it was insanely tough, frustrating. I hate it. I didn't even know here, fighting these bad guys, I had to handcuff them in order to move on. I didn't even find that out until the next level. The next level tells me in a hint, which I left in the clips here coming up. So yeah, man, I don't know what the hell is going on with this, but I wanted to love it. I love Batman, but dear Lord. See, right there, I handcuffed him, and I didn't even know that I was doing that. Like, I didn't know that was a move. Handcuff that guy. I knew I was onto something, so I got this guy, then run down this weird alley thing to the next level. See, look at it. There's the hint, man. Back cuffs can be used to restrain enemies. Thank you for that later on helpful hint. Yeah, I had to get up to that window, but I got tired of trying to show the clip on how I did it, so I just went right to me being in the window. You come into this apartment and start handcuffing people. There you go. Yeah, jeez, it's a bat nightmare. Run to the next game, Batman. Which is Drake of the 99 Dragons. A 2003, third-person shooter from Majesco Sales. Who? Well, I know they made Jaws and Cookie Mama, so I guess add this to their resume. You play as Drake, an undead assassin who's on a quest to avenge his murdered clan, the 99 Dragons, by recovering their ancient soul portal artifact from the game's main bad guy, Tang. No, not the preferred drink of the astronauts. Tang intends on using the artifact to harvest the souls of dead beings and power his undead cyborg army. How efficient. So why is this terrible? Well, frustrating controls and gameplay. The game's dual-wielding system had a poorly implemented targeting system. You can see that as I'm trying to run around shooting people. Made it very difficult to aim. The camera gets stuck. And throw in some poor voice acting, low-quality graphics, character animations, and sound design, and you've got 99 Dragons, but being a good game ain't one. Oh, what a clever Jay-Z reference. Yeah, I tried to like this. I would say out of this list, though, this one actually, it really wasn't as bad, I guess, as people were saying. I did find the jumping a little frustrating as I kind of Was just floating in the air mindlessly for a while till, for whatever reason, gravity finally kicked in. The shooting, yeah, it's annoying, but I don't know. I gotta tell you, out of the list, this one actually wasn't the worst one for me, so. So here was the part where it felt like I was just kind of floating around endlessly for a while, trying to collect these supernatural orbs. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's a weird matrix sequence. I don't know, man. I'll eventually just float into the next clip though, so hang in there, viewers. Whee! Didn't even touch that, but still collected it. All right, let's go to Shaq Fu. Shaq Fu. In 1994, Electronic Arts brought us this messy 2D fighter, and the game storyline, Shaquille O'Neal walks into a dojo while heading to a charity basketball game in Tokyo, Japan. After speaking with Liatzo, a martial arts master, Shaq goes to another dimension, the second world, where he must rescue a young boy named Nezu from the evil mummy Setra. That old chestnut. So why is this terrible? Well, for starters, a basketball player in a fighting game. Okay. Sluggish animation and finicky controls. A very odd cast of characters. Well, we will always have Shaq Diesel at least, and he always said, "What's up, Doc? Can we rock?" Not on this one, Shaq. Not on this one. Yeah, and he's incredibly tiny. These are tiny little characters. I would think they would be a little bit bigger, especially for a fighting game. I really couldn't do much as far as moves. Shaq's got a couple of lethal kicks there and like some power kick. Yeah. Why would I try this? Well, I don't know. It was something different. I thought it would be kind of fun. I played Michael Jordan's Chaos in the Windy City. That's obviously not a fighting game, but I was like, well, I wonder, with Shaq having a license, maybe he would do some good, but... Out kicking a guy with swords, of course. Love how Shaq runs in place. Staying ready. Okay, this is taking too long. Let's move on to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oompa doompa doopity doo. If you would smart, you'd avoid this game, my god. We played this because I have kids. We thought we'd try it out. We kind of like the Johnny Depp movie. Obviously nothing will top the original, but we gave this a whirl. This is a 2005 and same day as the movie release video game based on the movie. Playing as Charlie Bucket here. You're tasked with stopping the rotten kids from destroying the factory, harvesting candy ingredients, using marvelous new candy power-ups exclusive to the game, and commanding Oompa Loompas of all varieties. Throughout the game, the Oompa Loompas must help Charlie return the chocolate factory back to normal by fixing the mistakes that these self-indulgent children made, as well as deal with rogue robots and other weird little things throughout. So why was this terrible? Well, design glitches and annoying camera perspectives. There was pretty much awkward, terrible controls, and a lot of people didn't like this because it was short. A very short game to finish, so... graphically, I I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, you're definitely in
Ever need help, Charlie?
the
Don't
whole
hesitate
chocolate
to ask
factory.
your old friend
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's something. Here, I've got a couple of Oompa Loompas following me around. Got to collect some candy pieces.
Candy starts with
Edited out a lot of stuff as best I could. Try not to leave too many of the little hints in there. I made it only as far as getting the very svelte boy stuck in the chocolate tube out, and then kind of moved on. I mean, honestly, if your kids are playing this, they probably wouldn't even care. So I really don't know why grown people would play this. So if you didn't, I don't know if you didn't have kids, unless you just really love Willy Wonka. Yeah, there was a couple times where I just wanted to throw myself in the river of fudge and just end it all, but couldn't let you at home down. You good people.
The Oompa Loompas should be able to dislodge him from the pipe with these. I'm sure.
Can we make it work?
There he goes. Love lift us up where we belong.
You look exhausted. Try some
Nasty.
Milk. It's full of energy.
It's the most
Keep you on your
unhygienic
toes.
factory
Often
ever.
Find it in trees, so you need these. Everlasting gobstoppers. You can suck on them all year, and they'll never get any small.
All right, Aquaman, Battle for Aquarius. This is no Aquarius. Wait a minute, Battle for Atlantis, right? My God, I don't even know the title of the game. That's how bad it is. It's gotta be Atlantis. Wasn't Aquarius like a song? Aquarius. Anyway, so that 2003 action adventure game from TDK. TDK, the people who made, remember, VHS tapes? I don't know anything else about their company, but anyways, after a long absence and being presumed dead, Aquaman's mortal enemy, Black Manta, has returned, bringing him waves upon waves of dedicated warriors. Manta intends to terrorize and ultimately destroy Aquaman's kingdom of Atlantis. Yeah, it's gotta be it. It's not Aquarius. Ugh, my notes, man. Sometimes they are just so shoddy. In order to protect his subjects and the rest of the Seven Seas from Manta's evil machinations, Aquaman must venture into his city, save his people, and defeat Black Manta. Little does he know, however, that there is an even greater enemy waiting, who will attempt to take the throne of Atlantis right out from under him. Ooh. So why is this terrible? Well, a rushed development that lacks imagination with a weak story, uninspiring gameplay. This one you should let sleep with the fishes, my friends. Oh, you guys come here for the clever puns, I know. Yeah, he looks weird too, man. Like his head's shaped weird with the way the hair sits. It almost looks like he has like a giant head, little body. I don't know. I didn't find the fighting mechanics actually too bad in this one. The swimming around, though, however, God almighty, you can't control him unless you're just only going straight and fast, and that's it. But look, I just had to drift into things. You can't even really just hit anything head on. Alright. Mortal Kombat, anyone? Mortal Kombat Advance for the Game Boy Advance. 2001 fighting game from Midway Games and a handheld version of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Most of us have played Mortal Kombat games, so no surprise here on what you need to do to achieve victory. So let's just jump into why is this terrible? Well, for starters, cramming an arcade-style port onto a handheld with limited buttons. That wasn't helping anyone. Poorly made artificial intelligence. For computer-controlled opponents, obviously. And god-awful controls were the main torpedo for this handheld flop. Yeah, I had this set on easy just to try it out, and I survived for a little while, but then ended up just losing. And then I'll eventually change it to the hardest level of difficulty. And I think that was over pretty fast. Yeah, there I am, this old noob. Goes quick. My meter's just dropping. Yeah.
Scorpion wings. Fight.
Yeah, this whole game's a fatality. Jesus. Steve. All right, time to wrap it up with the Simpsons wrestling. I chose the PlayStation 1 version. I don't know if there are other versions. I didn't even look, actually. It's a 2001 sports video game because it's wrestling. This is a release from Fox Interactive and the only Simpsons video game released actually for the first PlayStation. So for you at-home viewers who are keeping score, it's a little notable fact. Simpsons Wrestling features 20 playable characters voiced by the series' regular voice cast, each whom executes their own exclusive moves, gestures, and power moves in the wrestling ring. Matches take place in a detailed 3D locations throughout Springfield. The round in the game ends when one wrestler pins their opponent for a 3 count. Obviously, you've seen wrestling. 2 wins constitute a victory. But also, unlike any traditional wrestling rules, you can also win by being pinned belly down, so okay. Yuck. Yeah, so why was it terrible? Choppy, ugly graphics to start with. It's a button smasher. Actually didn't have really any wrestling moves in it. Coupled with simplistic and unbalanced gameplay, so... Oh man, did I say this was finishing the video off? I'm an idiot. We have one more game. God, man, I tell you, I am terrible at YouTube. Yeah, this is not finishing off the video, so if you're still watching, we have one more terrible game to go. Yeah, I tried to like this one because I love The Simpsons. I've got quite a few Simpson games that I actually do enjoy, to include Simpsons the game on Xbox 360, probably the best one I've ever played. Simpsons Arcade. Yeah, this is terrible.
2, 3.
And then it just stopped. Like, it literally just froze. There was one point in the beginning of the game too when they were doing intros where Barney froze, and I know it's just the way that the game is. It wasn't anything to do with like the disc or anything. Here I found it easier to just go bananas on him with the rake. It went a lot quicker, so you can power through the game pretty quickly, I think, if you just use the rake. Just fight with Willie. Oh, Willie. Here I didn't know, I was trying to get him to pin him, but instead I just kept bludgeoning him with the rake, and eventually I would just finally lay down on top of him.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, here is the last game in the video. Party on, everyone. This is Wayne's World, a 1993 action video game from THQ. At Noah's Arcade, Wayne and Garth get sucked into the game Xantar, where Garth is captured by the purple gelatinous cube from the game. In rescuing his friend, Wayne traverses through 4 levels, each surrealist versions of places he encounters in real life. Along the way, Wayne is equipped with a guitar weapon that can be powered up with amps that execute larger chords, chorus power-ups that allow for 3 chords to be played on screen at a time, a distortion icon that makes the chords move in a distorted path, and a Homer power-up that moves towards the enemies. Other items Wayne can collect include swing items that obliterate all enemies currently on the screen, a thumbs-up icon increasing a player's worthiness level, and hearts that serve as extra lives. Also, there's additional guitar items that increase the amount of notes that Wayne can play at any time. So why is this terrible? With what looks like unfinished graphics, boring gameplay as you're just constantly jumping around and collecting things, you also suffer with loose and floaty controls, and you can't even play as Garth, man. BS, what is that? And if that's not enough, there's no real direction where to go, blind jumps, and 0 hint markers. Like I said, you're just kind of jumping around, floating around. doing the best you can to survive. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Wayne's World, a movie. It's not obviously it's never gonna obviously win best movie of our lifetime. Being from Chicago, Illinois area, Wayne's World is kind of a cultural icon to us. I had higher hopes, but oh well. Of course, I'm not going to continue. All right, those are my 10. Those are my 10 terrible games. I tried to find some positives in them. I would say a lot of them probably weren't like the worst game ever, even though a lot of them were considered some of the worst games ever. Like I said, you can find some redeeming qualities, man. You guys know me, man. I'm always trying to stay positive in this world, man. It's really hard to do sometimes, but I found some things in these games that I liked, and obviously there were some things they could have fixed. But yeah, just let me know though, like I said in the comments, terrible games that you hated. Not sure what the next vid's gonna be. Again, I'm just going week to week right now, so. And if any of you are going to be in Arkansas in 2 weeks, when this video comes out, it'll actually be this Thursday, obviously, right? Videos always come out on Thursday, but 12th and the 13th of October, I'll actually be at Retrofest in Arkansas. It's a nice little drive for me, so going to make the most out of that weekend and try and get hopefully some footage of the actual expo. Boring expo footage. It's all the same, man. It's just some dude walking around with a camera. Oh, look, here's some games. So, and yeah, maybe get some sights and sounds also, and should be fun. But hey, as always, I appreciate you all watching. As you know, man, I don't ask anybody to like or subscribe and none of that junk. So just you hanging here and seeing this vid, man, means a lot to me. So y'all take it easy, and we'll see you on the next vid.